And how many of them went to the Diddy parties? Have you been paying attention to the trial?
Oh yeah.
Trials. Wild.
Why don't they air it the same way they aired the the coverage that
Johnny
Johnny Depp got?
I know. Why don't they? I don't know. They should. The ratings would be amazing.
Unreal.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't you air that?
What's going to happen though, you think?
Well, Diddy's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. I think he's probably going to get.
Think he's going to sing though?
I don't know. I don't even think it matters. I mean, a lot of it is.
But then it's just another Epstein. It's another Ghislaine Maxwell, where somebody gets indicted and nobody else indicted for trafficking kids to
to no one. Then there's also like people that are elites, and that's their thing. Like their thing is to do something that is horrible, and it's not available to other people. So it's like, I think there's like a sickness that people have when they have power, like extreme power, and then what else can I do? What else can I do? What else is what else is taboo? What else is forbidden? Like all this Diddy that's coming out. So many horrific accusations involving young singers, like children.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's insane.
He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It is crazy. And meanwhile, the guy was like hanging out with Oprah, hanging out with Obama.
Jay-Z,
everybody.
I'm sure the Clintons were there at some point.
Maybe Bill.
I mean, everybody hung with Diddy. That's the other tricky thing. Like, Diddy hung out with everybody. And I've spoken to a bunch of people who are like, yo, great dude, like always there for you, never asked for a single thing.
Till 1 a.m.
And then freak-off.
Everybody says, get out of the house.
Yeah.
It's like the gremlins start eating after midnight. Everybody who tells the stories like, I saw I go upstairs and these dudes are fucking like right on the couch.
Yeah.
And then I go in this room and these guys are fucking. And it's like.
And pros. Like, apparently he was getting male gigolos to fuck girls.
I've had conversations with people about it, and it's like, Jesus, like just trying to get the documents, like when they're trying to get the Epstein files, like the state of New York, one of the district attorneys was hiding documents that have forced them to give documents. I think there's so many fucking powerful people that are on those lists. There's so many powerful people that went and partied. Air quotes, partied.
Isn't there a video with Kamala?
She was at one of the Diddy parties?
Isn't she in the background with...
It might have been the difference between Diddy parties and Freak-0ffs. Oh my God!
They're giving him shit too because he's sitting in his.
The guy from Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
And then Dave's there too, and then Russell Simmons too. Oh boy! But is that at a party or is that just a group of them together?
They were like on a yacht or something like that.
Okay, but that's not the Diddy party.
No, yeah, it's not like they were like.
I think.
You think Diddy was rogue or Diddy was like a Epstein type, working for somebody?
That's a good question. Well, it would be a great way to compromise celebrities. Yeah. And get them to say whatever you want them to do, get them to do whatever projects you'd like them to do. Well, it's just amazing how many people on the Diddy party list that are supporting Kamala. Too.
Yeah, seriously. It's like insane.
Publicly, openly, all in.
Yes. It's like J-Lo was like his ex-girlfriend. and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion. Like if she's going to be warning people, why did she never warn anyone about Diddy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The whole thing is so strange to watch play out. It seems like the Diddy thing was like an Epstein type compromise deal where whether he was doing it himself. Conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them.
Is that just a power thing?
It's a Caligula thing.
What does that mean?
Caligula, like the emperor. Did you ever see that movie, Caligula?
No.
It's about just Roman empires being completely out of control. Caligula is like almost like porn, and it was a movie made, I want to say in the 70s. It's a crazy movie. But it's just detailing extreme excess where you can never fill the hole.
But what is the hole you need to fill? Like, I'm trying to find, like, what's the
just
catalyst?
Chaos. What year was this? You're doing probably a combination of things they give you.
And it's all being filmed.
crazy. Now, if that's not an intelligence agency operation, it's just one fucking evil super genius who figures out how to compromise everybody by providing this crazy freak-off party. Everybody's got to put their phones away. Okay, we're going to put our phone away. No one's going to know anything. Yeah, I mean, he's going to get cameras everywhere. It's just one guy doing that. What a diabolical human being.
Joe Rogan has been known to cover a wide range of controversial topics, but even he wasn't ready for the level of darkness coming out of the Diddy trial. When he began discussing the disturbing details emerging from the courtroom, you could hear the disbelief in his voice. I looked at it for like 10 minutes this morning, Rogan said on air, and I was like, I gotta stop. I can't look at this. He wasn't just shocked, he was shaken. Audio recordings had just been released to the public, and according to Rogan and others who reviewed them, they painted Diddy as something much worse than a manipulative music mogul. They painted him as a predator with no boundaries. What disturbed Rogan even more than the content of the tapes was the idea of people having to sit through them in person. He asked, "What freaks me out is the people sitting in the courtroom listening to it," and then he paused before adding, "That's a wide spectrum of people that are getting subjected to it, and you just sit there and go, yeah." It wasn't just the abuse, it was the casual horror of people having to listen to the breakdown of lives in such detail, people who never signed up to hear it. And for Rogan, that raised even bigger questions about power, corruption, and how far someone can go when they think they're untouchable. Rogan didn't hold back in his broader criticism. There's a sickness that people have when they have extreme power, he said. What else can I do? What else is taboo? What else is forbidden? He brought up the disturbing possibility that elites aren't just bad actors. They're addicted to power in a way that turns them into something unrecognizable. And in Diddy's case, that addiction led to something Rogan called evil. He explained, "Nobody wants to believe in the devil, but do you believe in evil acts?" Well, people certainly do evil things. It's not just about Diddy being corrupt, it's about Diddy representing a much larger system of unchecked, perverse authority. That system showed its face in Jane Doe number 3's testimony, one of Diddy's alleged victims who broke down in tears in court. Jane said she was forced to perform in what she called freak-offs, sexual encounters with multiple men while Diddy watched and gave instructions. She was drugged, sleep-deprived, and turned into what she described as a robot. One quote hit especially hard. "I didn't want to disappoint my lover. He would be unhappy and wouldn't be satisfied with me." Rogan called it out for what it was, a pattern of systematic abuse. "He makes R. Kelly look like a decent guy," Rogan said flatly, and from his tone, it wasn't sarcasm, it was fury. What shocked Rogan even more was the length of time this had allegedly gone on. He was doing this for decades, Rogan said, to who knows how many people. And the fact that no one talked, everybody was scared to talk about it. And if someone did talk, Rogan pointed out that they'd either vanish, lose their career, or worse. As evidence, he mentioned the similarities to the Epstein case and said bluntly, "Diddy is the next Jeffrey Epstein, but unlike Epstein, Diddy has tapes." The audience fell silent as Rogan spoke, and he was just getting started. He continued by referencing allegations that Diddy used NDAs, hush money, and even death threats to silence victims and their families. He described the tactic like this: get people to a party, get them drunk or high, record them doing something they can't take back, and then own them forever. That's how you control a whole industry, Rogan said. That's how you keep your name clean while you do the worst things imaginable behind closed doors. It's a tactic that Rogan said made Diddy more dangerous than people like Epstein. He had access to celebrities, to children, to cameras, and to protection. Then came the topic of who else might have been involved. Rogan didn't drop names carelessly, but he did bring up the fact that everybody hung with Diddy. He listed off names: Jay-Z, Oprah, Ashton Kutcher, even President Obama. He questioned how so many powerful people could have been around Diddy without knowing something was wrong. "Ain't no party like a Diddy party," Rogan mocked. Everybody said it, but now we know what that actually meant. He asked, how many of those celebrities were there to just be seen? And how many were there to recruit or cover up? According to Rogan, this was more than just another Hollywood scandal. He compared the situation to the Roman Empire and referenced the film Caligula, known for its portrayal of unchecked power and sexual chaos. That's what this is, Rogan said. This isn't a man losing control. This is a man who never had control because no one ever told him no. He speculated that Diddy may have been part of something bigger, maybe even working for someone else. That's how these things work, Rogan said. You collect dirt on people, then you own them. You want someone to perform at your award show, you remind them you've got a tape. And now that the trial is pulling back the curtain, more and more people are running scared. Rogan noted how Diddy's former allies have gone silent. People who once called him a genius, a mogul, or a legend, now they won't even say his name. That's how you know it's real, Rogan said. When the celebrities vanish, it means something big is happening behind the scenes. He also noted that even with all the public testimony and media coverage, the trial still isn't being broadcast. Why isn't this trial being televised like Johnny Depp's? He asked. Because it's bigger, it's darker, it's more dangerous. Rogan wasn't done. He brought up the Homeland Security raid on Diddy's mansions, describing how it felt more like a cleanup than an investigation. They weren't there to take stuff, he said. They were there to delete everything. And suddenly things made more sense. The missing witnesses, the destroyed footage, the NDAS, the billion-dollar silence. Rogan connected the dots and came to one conclusion. This isn't just about Diddy. This is about a network of powerful people who used him as a middleman. And now that he's exposed, they're scrambling. He referenced the testimony of hotel security supervisor Eddie Garcia, who said Diddy paid $100,000 to make video footage of him assaulting Cassie Ventura disappear. Rogan looked stunned. This man FaceTimed his victim to get her to say she wanted it, after beating her, and then paid to erase the evidence. That's not just abuse. That's calculated, organized destruction of a person. And the fact that Garcia testified under oath, that wasn't gossip. That was courtroom truth. And now that the trial is pulling back the curtain, more and more people are running scared. Rogan noted how Diddy's former allies have gone silent. People who once called him a genius, a mogul, or a legend, now they won't even say his name. That's how you know it's real, Rogan said. When the celebrities vanish, it means something big is happening behind the scenes. He also noted that even with all the public testimony and media coverage, the trial still isn't being broadcast. Why isn't this trial being televised like Johnny Depp's? He asked. Because it's bigger, it's darker, it's more dangerous. Rogan even touched on the timing of these revelations, comparing Diddy's downfall to a pressure valve finally bursting open. People always knew something was off, he said. You could feel it in the music, in the interviews, in the way people talked about him, but no one wanted to be the first to say it. Now, with dozens of victims stepping forward, that silence is crumbling, and Rogan is making sure the public knows exactly what's being exposed. He ended his segment with a warning. This isn't over, Rogan said, not by a long shot. This trial is just the start. There are going to be more tapes, more victims, and probably more powerful people exposed. The question is, how far does it go and how high up does it reach? As he looked into the camera, the message was clear. Diddy's empire isn't just falling, it's exploding. And Joe Rogan wants everyone to see what's buried beneath the rubble.